lot of O's in that song. And sometimes that's just because the greatness of God, we really respond with everything. It's just too much to express with words. And we'll end, and I know this is jumping ahead to the season, and it's not fair. We know at the end of Christ's temptation in the desert, that just as we heard in the song, hope rises and darkness trembles. We know at the end of the temptation in the desert, literally, Satan shrinks before the power of Christ. So my prayer for all of you, and know that you're in my prayers, is that this Lent would be an experience of really inviting God in. So with everything, every little thing you do, because you remove those other things from your life, you can give God praise and shout His glory. Amen. Thank you very much.
I have a question.
Yeah.
For Lent, I know we're supposed to give something up to fast from something. Can it also be adding something like a daily rosary or like an increase in prayer time or something? Does it necessarily have to be giving something up per se?
No. Yes and no. We have a professor in seminary that whenever you ask like an either-or question, his answer is yes. And I'm going to go with that. Lent is identified by fasting, by almsgiving, and by prayer. So all of those things are built into the season. I mean, you should already be giving of your time, talent, and treasure as a Catholic. So maybe Lent's that time to intensify that, or at least to keep that up. Fasting is a great part of the spiritual life already, but the church provides us with days where we abstain from meat and we're supposed to be fasting. Ash Wednesday and Good Friday are already days of fast. It's required of us. Fridays are already days of abstinence from meat as well as Ash Wednesday. These things are already provided for us. Prayer, giving alms. Doing penance, obviously already a big part of it. So a lot of people, again, fixate on kind of that giving something up. But how can we give of ourselves? Maybe this way that we do penance is for other people. Maybe the way we give alms is, we don't have a lot of treasure. Again, I know you guys are college students. That's not always a big option. But say, what? My talent or my gift is prayer. So I'm going to add this in. If we realize that Lent is this time of realizing that we need more, maybe it is realizing I need more prayer time in my life. And that's saying a rosary, or that's going to Mass daily if I don't know any people, or that's going to Mass at all if I don't know. Whatever that is, realizing that we need more, and that more is God. So the church provides us with this opportunity for penance, for fasting, for almsgiving already. And we can either pick one of those things and really work on that if that's what's detrimental in our lives. I think the reason we do that in the United States especially is because we have so much stuff, we realize that what we need to really work on is fasting because we have too much stuff. But it can be any of those things as long as we really enter into that season. Does that answer your question? Okay, good. Yeah.
Okay, when I was a little girl, we used to always give up candy, and my mom kind of forced that rule because of giving up candy for Lent. And then as I got older, at least, I remember my CC teacher told us once, well, on Sundays, those are like mini Easters, and you can have all the candy you want, and then when Monday rolls around, and you're back to your fasting or your abstaining from eating candy or whatever. And isn't that kind of like, I think that's kind of, I was excited when I heard about that, but isn't that kind of like you're not really even challenging yourself because that just takes away from it. Is that acceptable with the Sunday things, or it's just kind of your choice, or it kind of doing anything up?
That's really hard to answer generally, because you can look at it from two ways. I mean, you can look at it as, if that's what needs to keep you going, if you really, really, really need that to keep you going.
I just know my sisters can be like, oh, well, I can do this on Sunday because of that. I mean, I would, but...
say personally, I think it's cheating. So I'm not speaking for the church here, but it seems like cheating to me. But at the same time, you know, if you're adding in things or take, do you have something better, Andrew?
But the Sundays are not added into the 40 days.
They're not added into the 40 days. So it's one of those, again, that's why I say it's really hard. If you have a spiritual director, I'd say talk to with that person. But you know, it's one of those, if cheating a little bit on Sunday and sneaking some candy is going to help you, first of all, be grateful for that candy and also make that commitment to give it up later in the week, maybe that's a good thing. If you're saying that and you've given up, you know, candy every year since you were 4, you're probably beyond the point where you really need that. So, I mean, that's a very difficult question to just kind of answer in carte blanche. Because you can look at it and say, well, you know, Sundays aren't included in there, but the whole season is, you know, prayer and fasting and almsgiving. And the Sundays are still certainly part of the season. They're just a more joyous part of the season. So, Father Mike might be able to answer that perfectly.
Just to add on to that, this is my personal opinion. I know from this Lent, because actually I was kind of thinking myself, was one thing I love eating is ranch dressing. I put ranch on everything except for ice cream crackers. And basically what I'm thinking, you know, if I can just have ranch every Sunday, you know, after Mass, it's possibly which I actually love. I think I would actually apply this less than it's but I mean, just having a little bit of range on your salad makes a really big deal. You're just doing it in moderation. Like if you give up ranch for, let's say, Lent, you know, you shouldn't, you know, indulge it, but just keep it in moderation.
Right. See, again, I'd say that's good. Remember, you know, if that's your opportunity to give thanks and really be grateful for all your gifts, keeping it. See, the real answer here is get into moral theology this much. Everything lies in the intention. Like how you do it is much more important on the little things than what you do. So if you're just following the rules, so it's more about your intent, which is why I don't know your intent. Do you have something?
Yeah, I found sometimes too that if I give something up and then I have it on Sundays, it makes it harder the rest of the week because then you're like, oh yeah, I just had that, it's so good, but I can't have it now.
It's like yesterday I had ranch dressing on my salad and I put it on my pizza and then a little bit of the guy with brownie and I wouldn't put all of the brownie. It was still pretty good, you know. Again, so like if it's going to help you be grateful for when you don't have it, that could be okay. But if it's going to make it worse, then any other questions?